that if you have a small to medium-sized company and you want to come to California or stay in California, you get an extended tax credit. Well, you could do a very similar thing with larger companies like Walmart, like Target, and make it to where if you have employee base that are in excess of whatever, then your minimum wage needs to be more comparable. It needs to be more balanced.
So you want a tiered system.
Yeah, like a tiered system. That's absolutely fair.
I think that that would require obviously a piece of good policy, but that's not something that would be an across the board minimum wage increase.
No, it wouldn't. But it would make people take it. They would treasure that job at Walmart a little bit better. They wouldn't be out of work as often.
But then you wouldn't be able to get employees for small businesses.
And Burger King wouldn't have any employees. No, because they all believe in Burger King to go to Walmart.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but Walmart only can employ who they can employ.
Okay.
I mean, who doesn't want to go to Google? But everybody can't go to Google.
I get that. Suzette, that's one of the problems. I can get behind maybe minimum wage going to $10 an hour. Okay, I could actually get behind that. And in California, eventually, over the next couple of years, it will get there, all right? Yes, I do have a problem with people going to work and working 40 hours a week, and at the end of the month, they don't even have enough money. I do have a problem with that, but at the same time, I'm very pro-business, and at the same time, I can't look at a business and say, you know what, I don't care about your bottom line. I discount your bottom line. To me, that's trivial. What I'm really caring about is your employees. So at the end of the day, if you're turning a negative profit, that's fine as long as you're paying your employees. That doesn't work for me.
No, I don't want it to work for me either, but I think that you need to, if you care about your employees, and if this has been proven, if you care about your employees and give them perks that makes them want to stay, the production is far more superior than the ones that you will find. I'm only giving you minimum wage only if I have to, and I'm cutting your hours. And I mean, proof is in the pudding. If you put your money where your mouth is, you get better productivity.
Yeah, Angelina, I also think that government can't dictate that. The economic climate and business has to dictate.
Nobody's going to do it though, Suzette, and you know that. Nobody that's a business owner is going to do that.
When you implement across the board such as a minimum wage increase, we're actually hurting the people who need that help the most.
How are you hurting them?
We're hurting them because businesses can't afford it.
They can't afford it.
They're going to cut jobs, or they're going to, lay off people, or cut their hours,
they do that anyway.
No, but I can tell you, they can't. Businesses can't afford it. I know businesses here in the Antelope Valley right now that at the end of the day are just getting by. They're just getting by. And they're not paying minimum wage. Maybe they're paying $9 an hour. They can't afford it anymore. They really can't afford it. They don't have enough.
Well, then that's where the policy should come in with the tax breaks for the businesses. Okay? So then the government should give those people a tax break, because the bottom line is everybody needs to be able to eat, and everybody needs to be able to feel like they can go and take care of their families. Everybody's not going to have the advantages or know how to take advantage of the opportunities like we do. There are people that just don't get it. They don't understand it. And it's not necessarily their fault. It's just the rolling of the dice sometimes.
Yeah. Well, one other thing that we were talking about, Suzette, and then I'm going to let you go because I don't want to keep you too long. But another thing was welfare reform. We've spoken to a lot of people on the show, and we've discussed this many, many times before. What do you think about drug testing people that are on welfare?
I don't have a problem with it. I think that, welfare, we do need welfare reform. I'm a compassionate Republican who thinks that, a lot of people during the course of their life need assistance. I'm okay with that, but I am not okay with abusing the system, with not spending the assistance that you're receiving from all of our generous taxpayers on things you don't need to be spending it on.
That's
so
right.
I would be okay with drug testing our welfare recipients. If there's of course if there's a warrant to do that. I think if someone's been on it just was unemployed and they've only collected 2 welfare checks, is that something that we need to spend money on as taxpayers?
No, I get that, but there are people that make receiving state and federal benefits a career.
Oh, no, yeah, I
Okay?
agree.
That make it a career. And one thing that we were talking about here on the show the other day was, but a lot of them need training, and a lot of them
don't understand the programs that are available to them.
Okay, and
because they let them go into the welfare. Here, sign there, and you're just going to get your checks. Well, they're not telling them you can go to a junior college and get your associate's degree while you're doing this. They don't promote that. They don't. And so we're so quick to judge these people that are on the system. We're so quick to judge them, but we don't let them know the opportunities that are available to them.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Jeffrey, do we need to take a break?
In just a minute.
Okay. Well, before we do that, did you see the new video of the teen stowaway that flew to Hawaii?
Yeah.
Did you see him dropping out of the wheel well?
Yeah.
80 degrees below zero.
Yeah.
He makes it for 5.5 hours
He
all
sure
the
did.
way to Hawaii.
And he defrosted. He had to defrost.
And he defrosted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he drops out of this wheel well, and he's walking around like he's a little bit drunk.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't blame him.
No.
Okay?
Did
His
you hear
body's
he
warming
was
up.
trying to get home to his mom.
I heard that his father had told him that his mother was dead.
What?
Oh.
And he found out
that she wasn't.
that she wasn't.
Oh. And so he was trying to get home to his mom.
Right.
The part that bothered me about that story is that they're still deliberating on whether or not they want to charge him.
Another part that bothers me about the story is he hasn't been reunited with his dad. He's under the protection of child services right now.
Well, probably something else is going on. I mean, for the kid to get that desperate to get on a plane, he doesn't even know which plane he's going to, and he's trying to get to Africa.
No.
Really, dude? You thought you was going to hang tight for a flight to Africa?
Okay. He's a young kid.
Yeah. So that means he's not thinking right. But the thing is, you're going to charge him? I mean, listen, I get, you got to be a human. You have to be a human. What would be the benefit of charging this boy?
No benefit. They should leave it alone.
Absolutely none.
No.
You should fix his life because he's going through some stress. He's got some stuff going on. You need to reunite him with his mother.
I agree.
Because that's a child that's desperate for his mother.
Yeah, or bring mom here. But mom is out of the country. Where is mom?
Nigeria, I think.
In Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Well, they got problems over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we got problems. 2 weeks later, we start hearing about these kids that were abducted. 2 weeks later.
Now, Secretary of State Kerry says we will send law enforcement, we'll send military aid, we'll do this. And
2 weeks later,
Nigeria says no.
guy came up, huh?
They say no, we don't want it.
Who?
Nigeria.
No, they didn't. They said this morning they wanted it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, last night
Turn
they
from
said
Fox.
no.
Turn from Fox.
Okay.
No, this morning they welcome it.
Okay, last night
because they were actually on camera saying we're selling them sex trafficking.
What's the president of Nigeria's name?
I don't know. Am I supposed to know that?
Yeah, because it's a kind of a funny name.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like Mr. Good Day or something.
Stop it.
Yeah.
No, it is, for real.
It's
okay?
a crazy name.
Last night, he was actually saying that he did not want U.S. intervention because of maybe the way that we're going to go in and handle
and get
things.
it done.
Yeah.
Right. Because we tend to just go in and get it done.
Get it done.
Right.
Get it done, Obama.
But then they were also worried that if U.S. sends law enforcement and military aid in, that they would kill all the people too.
Oh, what people?
Kids. People they have kidnapped.
No, they're afraid that we won't leave because that's what we tend to do. We tend to go to a country, look under a rock or two, say, "Oh, you got some stuff right there. We're going to liberate your country." That's what we do.
Okay, but that's not what we're doing there.
We're like the in-laws. You know, you want your in-law to come for a day and leave. We stay. I guess we're going to a break.
We're going to a break. All right.
That was subtle, wasn't it?
You're listening to AV Newscast, and we'll be right back.
There's a school in Palmdale that's become the talk of the town. It's called the Guidance Charter School, and many parents say it's magical. The Guidance Charter School is WASP accredited, scored 783 in academic performance, and has an educational curriculum that exceeds the state of California standards. The curriculum is enriched through age-appropriate exposure to information technology, arts, foreign language such as Arabic, and physical education. The Guidance Charter School has a winning CIF sports program with soccer, basketball, cross-country, volleyball, swimming, cheerleading, and more. An open enrollment, free tuition school, publicly funded. They've been in business for 12 years and are fully approved by the Palmdale School District. The Guidance Charter School has small classroom environment, 20 students in grades K through 3, 25 students in grades 4 through 8, and no more than 30 students in grades 9 through 12. Call the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale at 661-285-1600. That's the Guidance Charter School in Palmdale at 661-285-1600. And check out their website at thegcs.org. A better high school choice.
Antelope Valley residents, this is Assistant Sheriff James Helmold seeking your vote for sheriff. As a 25-year veteran of the department, I'm not a politician, I'm a crime fighter committed to keeping our neighborhood safe. I will ensure your sheriff's department is responsive to the Antelope Valley, not a one-size-fits-all approach from downtown Los Angeles. Let's also expand community involvement and youth outreach to ensure future success. I'm proud to be endorsed by both mayors and councils, local churches, and community groups. This is your sheriff's department. Please vote James Helmold for sheriff.
There's a school in Palmdale that...
Chronic Beats.
Welcome back to AVNewsCast.com.
Yes, we're back. And we're welcoming a caller, right? We have Mr. Kermit Franklin on the line.
Hey, Kermit, are you with us?
Yes.
Hey, good morning. It's Steve.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Hey, thanks for taking the time to come on the show. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Hey, a few minutes ago, we were talking to Suzette Martinez, and of course, jobs came up. And every single candidate is all talking about jobs. But at the end of the day, have you got a solution about the job problem that we've got?
Well, I believe that part of that solution... Are you there?
Yeah.
Yes. I believe part of that solution, which is part of my campaign, is certainly to increase minimum wage, which, of course, my Republican colleagues deny. The fact of raising the minimum wage would bring a number of people out of poverty. As you know, across this country, there are 460,000 college grads that are working in minimum wage jobs. Mm-hmm. And with this increase, it would help. As you very well know, California has the highest poverty rate, followed by D.C. and Florida. We're at 23.8%. And within California, the largest in that is Los Angeles County. 1.8 million people live in poverty. And a great deal of that is due to the fact of these are working people that are poor because of a lack of increase in minimum wage in our state and federally as well. That is one step toward making sure people are working again. The other step as well, as you know, Congress has denied, again, a number of people the emergency employment as it relates to the fact of them being able to go out and keep their homes or be able to put food on the table. I know someone specifically that has only had employment insurance less than a year, and they've been kicked off and not been able to have it extended. And that makes it hard on families, especially when they paid into it. This is money that they paid into. This person had been working for 3-4 years straight, but due to different things that have been done, they've not been able to get the employment benefits extended. So those are significant things that can make a difference.
So do you think unemployment benefits should be extended for another year?
I certainly think it should be extended to help them, especially these people in California, that they be able to have more time to be able to find a job, put food on the table for their families, and being able to afford gas just to look for a job. Because when you're unable to go to an interview, because of a lack of funds, you're in a bad situation. I think that's part of it. I don't think that's a total answer. Obviously, I don't think that someone should be there forever, obviously. But I think that we need to help the American people out. When we help Wall Street out, let's continue to help out Main Street.
You got a good point there.
No, I don't disagree.
I have a question because your critics will say you increase minimum wage and you hurt small business. So how do you offset that pain, that potential pain?
Well, the truth of the matter is that argument's been done over and over again, and there is no significant study that shows that. The fact of the matter is, if you're a really small business, you have to obviously be a small business with X number of employees before that's even applicable to you. The other part is making sure our businesses, such as J.P. Morgan Chase and Bank of America, which make billions of dollars a year, pay their fair share in taxes. These companies pay zero in taxes.
Hello.
And while you're struggling and paying your taxes, why shouldn't they be paying theirs?
Right.
And that's part of the problem with when we have corporations that don't pay their taxes, which goes to bridges and roads and other things to help other people as well. Then we have a shortfall. We need to make sure that we're helping Main Street and not hurting them, while helping Wall Street as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Bank of America paying their taxes isn't going to help the guy who can't feed his family.
No, it isn't. But it might put a little bit more money in the pot, which would give more programs for the people.
That's right. It will put more money in the pot, for instance, as it relates to our government being able to help people be able to extend unemployment insurance. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if the corporations are not paying their fair share, then how in the world can we ask the people of this country to pay their fair share?
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, people do want to work.
Right.
The other side will tell you that people want to work. Well, if that's true, then offer the people that are on either welfare and on unemployment or unemployment insurance, offer them a decent paying job and see if they won't take it. I guarantee you they would take it.
Yeah.
And people take pride when they work.
And the job needs to be...
Work.
I'm sorry, Kermit. And the job needs to be better than what the welfare is. Because oftentimes you'll see...
Exactly right.
We've even hired people that, had a small child at home and said, I want to work. I want to be able to earn my own money. And we've employed them, and they stayed for like a week because they figured at the end of the day, they're paying out more money between having to have a stranger watch their child and get to work.
That's right.
So, we do need to be balanced, and we do need to figure out on paper, get rid of this corporate welfare system and get a welfare system for the people that really need it, but one that's constructive, one that can actually get you on your feet.
That's
Kermit,
right. We have to go ahead.
No, just the other day, Congresswoman Lee up in the Bay Area said that she would support an increase of minimum wage to $25 or $26 an hour.
Well, you said 2, so that's not at that. 2 means a gradual to get to...
No, this is what she said.
Okay.
Which I said was an idiotic statement. Now, what minimum wage increase would you support?
Well, look, I have 2 arguments on that. One, Congress won't even pass, over $10 an hour. So,
right.
So, what's the deal? They won't pass that. Certainly going to get to 25. The other thing is this. If it would have kept up with COLA, cost of living increase, then we wouldn't have having this argument at all. That's the fact of the matter. When you have all of the U.S. senators, Congress U.S. senators saying no to unemployment insurance, and then and then later on the 1st of January 2015, they're going to get $2,800 on cost of living increase. And the American people are getting nothing. How is that fair?
Let me ask you another question, Kermit. We have roughly 3 million illegal immigrants in California. Should they be allowed to participate in the Affordable Care Act under Covered California?
You're speaking of Senate Bill, I believe, 1005.
I am.
The fact of the matter is that, look, a disease does not have an address at all. It doesn't have a zip code, period. The fact of the matter is a lot of them are exploited. A lot of them are used by companies and corporations, and they're being used to do different things and being paid on the table and things of this nature. I think if you want to have a healthy society, you need to make sure that people that you're utilizing are here, that are working, that you need to make sure that they're covered as well. Because the fact of the matter is you're not going to ship those 3 million people back to where they came from. They're just not going to do it for the most part because, they're here and they're obviously going to be here to stay. What needs to really happen is we need to reform immigration. Mm-hmm. That's where I believe that we need to start, period, because if not, look, the emergency room is not going to deny them, right? When they go into the emergency room, they're not going to deny them coverage, regardless of whether they have any money or not, regardless of whether they're legal or not. So that's my point. I mean, they have to be covered. I mean, they're going to need to be covered somehow. Right? A disease doesn't have an address.
Right. No,
it doesn't say whether you're from this country or that country. I think that they need to be covered. Now, being covered in a certain way with funds is another story.
Now, immigration reform by closing the borders 100%, or immigration reform by actually making a realistic pathway to citizenship?
A realistic pathway to citizenship. Are you aware that 20% of our Medal of Honor recipients are immigrants?
Yeah.
I mean, are you aware that 5% of our armed forces are immigrants?
Yes.
I mean, 12% of all living veterans are immigrants. I'm not saying all of them have done something, but my point is we on the other end as Americans, we exploit them, and they need the assistance from us.
I actually agree. I think there should be a more common sense approach to the pathway to citizenship. I believe that it shouldn't take 20 years.
No, it shouldn't take 20 years, especially when they're getting benefits.
I totally agree. I mean, you shouldn't be in this country for 20, 30 years and not, be an American, or it shouldn't take forever for them to become Americans.
Right. The last time that you were on the show, did we talk about the California State Supreme Court when they said that one in particular, illegal immigrant who actually passed the bar, would have a license to practice law in the state of California even though he is not a citizen? Did we talk about that?
No, we didn't talk about that.
What did you think about that?
Well, as you know, even last year, the governor signed a bill that a person from another country could practice law over here. I mean, I don't know if you're aware of that bill as well.
Yeah, the government, right? But it had to become law, and right. And
it's just
it
backwards.
has.
It's just backwards. You're eligible for deportation, but you happen to be my lawyer.
Right. He can't get citizenship, but yet he can walk in. So he's not here legally, but he can walk into court and practice law.
Right. Well, it's the same with regards to the driver's license. I mean, if they can do that, they certainly should be able to become citizens. It shouldn't take them 20, 30 years just to have to wait to become citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why immigration reform, as you talked about, makes sense.
What about the culture in the justice system by means of the sheriff department, the police department, the amount of people of color that are targeted and things that I'm assuming that you're quite aware of? Do you have any thoughts on how you can make it a more balanced system, or at least, how do you propose to make it a more balanced system, or how do you deal with that?
Well, as you know, the sheriff's department had their own little study and came up with the fact that there wasn't any biasness and things of this nature. Well, obviously, you're going to have to put people in there that understand the various cultures, and that makes a lot of sense to be able to do that, because obviously, we're growing demographics, whether you're in California or other parts of the country. I think in doing so that sensitivity training needs to be on course as well, and we need to be able to make sure that when we input people, especially in leadership, that it reflects the diversity of our community. Now, that doesn't take away from the hard-working sheriffs that do their job, work every day, and have a family to feed, things of this nature, because a overwhelming majority of them, are doing the right thing. But unfortunately, there are some that, that are out of step, out of line with what's supposed to occur, and break laws and things of this nature. I mean, because you're administering the law doesn't mean that you're above the law.
Right, which is what the culture is right now.
What do you mean?
They're above the law. They do what they want to do.
There are some bad guys out there that think they can get away with anything. I get that.
Right.
Right. But, like Kermit said, but not all of them. There are only a few bad apples.
Right. And that's why, significantly, I support candidate for Sheriff Lou Vince, because he formerly was not a sheriff. He's the LAPD, but he sees it from the outside, looking in. And that's why, I support him as a candidate for sheriff.
I wasn't going to put you on the spot and ask you.
Who does he support?
Lou Vince. He's in Santa Clarita, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was not going to put you on the spot and ask you.
I sure would.
No, Angelina said you would?
Yes.
No, but I appreciate you saying that. And he's actually somebody that we should have on the show. And we should do that. I appreciate you taking the time. I know that, it was kind of impromptu and I hit you up last night, but I would like to invite you onto the show. We've got our debate coming up next week, which you're going to be at.
Yes.
And then after that, I'd like to invite you on the show and spend a whole hour and go through a lot of things.
That would be perfect.
Is that good? All right.
Thanks a lot for calling.
Thanks, Kermit. Thanks for taking the time.
You're absolutely welcome.
Have a great day.
Have a great.
Thanks.
Are we going to break?
I don't know. I have no clue because I'm not in charge.
It's 8:57. So.
Oh,
no,
okay,
we're not going to break.
Well, then I'll just hold it.
Okay.
A couple minutes.
Yesterday,
I have been so.
Yesterday, California submitted their proposed design for the driver's license.
Yes.
Okay, for immigrants in California, and the design was rejected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? What did it have on it?
We spent a fortune.
Who rejects it? I mean, what
fortune.
difference does it make? Give me a break. Does it have all the essential information on it? Who rejected it?
Washington.
Why?
The feds rejected it, and I'll tell you why.
Okay?
Yeah. Because they said, we specifically told you that this driver's license must absolutely be 100% distinguishable from a real driver's license. We told you that it absolutely has to state certain things, and there must be a disclaimer that this card is not acceptable for official federal purposes. You must say that on that.
So why didn't they just make it for him?
They didn't put it on that.
Why didn't they just make it for him? I just can't stand it. If you give me a job to do and I'm submitting it and I'm thinking that, first of all, you're not going to send a prototype? Like, this is what we're looking at.
And here's the thing. And the final submission came from the DMV here in California, right? They submitted it, and the DMV refuses to show us what it looks like. But from what I've heard, it looks almost identical to a real driver's license. And its intent and purpose was to design it that way so people would feel like...
Yes, included, and not like an alien. And I get that. And besides
but they're not a citizen.
They are.
Listen, you're giving them a license, dude. You're giving them a license.
Okay.
And besides that, when you get pulled over, don't they swipe your number, your card? The police have a swiper, right?
Sometimes.
Well, what else do they have?
Well, they have computers and stuff, too.
Okay, so swipe it or put the numbers in. Either way, you're going to get the information. Why do they have to look like they shouldn't have to look different?
Because when you use it
at a glance
as legal ID, okay?
It is a legal ID.
No, it is not.
It is a legal ID.
It is a motor vehicle operator's license.
I understand, but we use that as a legal ID.
But
we do because we have that.
Yeah, but to establish who you are,
it's the same thing. You think they're not going to get? They're going to get an apartment with that. They are.
They say what qualifies as a document saying that you are who you are. They're looking at your kids. Their school information. They're looking at those consular. All this stuff can be faked. All this stuff can be done.
Yeah.
You have no. It's
only
ridiculous.
supposed to be a permit.
It's really it is. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think that it is. But the reality is that people are going to use it as ID. Banks will use it as an ID. Check cashing places are going to use it as an ID. You're going to file for an application for credit card. They're going to use it as an ID. Give me a break. Just stop. If you want to give them an ID to drive a car, then give it to them. But the bottom line is that driver's permit to operate a car I use for all sorts of things, and so will they.
Because yours is a California driver's license.
And theirs is going to be a California driver's license.
No, it is a permit to operate the vehicle only.
That's what it is, Steve. Okay. That's what it is.
Okay, I actually supported it.
That's so silliness.
I felt that they should have.
I mean, if I was illegal, there's no way I would get the dang ID. You know exactly where I am, and you know I'm illegal. That's stupid.
Okay.
We just want to take their money as much as we can, but don't give them that little paper that says that they're an American.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Just a minute ago, I said there should be a reform to help the pathway to citizenship. If they really want to do this.
If you could go get a DMV ID, then you should be able to go get your citizenship. Good Lord.
Okay.
It's just silly.
What are you doing? Walking right on the set?
I'm done for the day.
Good gosh. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's after 9 o'clock, and
All right. I understand.
I need to get some stuff off.
All right. We're done for the day.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching AV Newscast and making us the #1 news talk radio program in the Antelope Valley. Tomorrow, we will have 3 guests on the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
From DCFS. That'll be our first segment.
Yeah.
About the ins and the outs and the myths and the misbeliefs and everything else about DCFS. And so we'll be doing that tomorrow. The show begins at 8. Have a great day today.
Frolic